Today I want to talk about understanding the difference between a cost and a return on investment, or ROI, and why you need to know this when explaining things to your client. So stick around and I'll share it with you. So as people, we're always concerned with how much things cost, whether it be the price of bread, cost of fuel, cost of services and equipment. We evaluate everything that way, and it's just natural. However, if we get stuck just in a cost cycle, especially if we're in business, we can continually undercut our services because we fear on missing out. So then how do we turn the tables? Well, when you understand ROI, or return on investment, and how to sell that to your client, it changes everything. Now, typically, we're all in a service business one way or another, while they're dealing with commercial properties, domestic or both. So let's say, for instance, you get called in to do a job for a client that's going to sell the place. You know, you might have a business that does carpet cleaning, window cleaning, gardens, painting, whatever it is. So when you put in a quote, the client may look at the cost. So let's say, for instance, everything was combined was $20,000. Well, that may sound like a lot of money, except for one thing. The money that they're investing in the home is designed to not only help them sell the home, but get more for it than they normally would. That's called return on investment. So currently, my business, we're running between 2.5 and 3, which means for every dollar spent, the client will get between $2.50 and $3 back. And we've gone much, much more than that, but I'm just being conservative. So if a client spent 10 grand with us, they can expect to get anywhere between $25,000 and $30,000 back. And that's a fantastic return. And I focus the clients on that. I want them to understand it's about maximizing opportunity. But what if you're dealing with a homeowner or a business owner that isn't selling but wants to maintain? So I'm going to give a quick scenario. It doesn't cover everything, but it just lets you know how I'm thinking. So let's say, for instance, you go into a house or a business and there's 100 square meters of carpet, and it's trashed out. So structurally, it's really good. It just looks yuck. And so you do your inspection, you do everything, and you say to them, look, this is going to be $11 a square meter to do the clean and restoration work. It's $1,100. And they are, Matt, that's expensive, because they're comparing it to the guy that quoted $300 or $500, whatever it is. So here's where understanding your cost base is important. You see, on that 100 square meters of carpet, to replace it, if you had a good quality carpet with good underlay, let's say it's $55 a square meter, you're looking at $5,500. Then on top of that, you have to consider that they might need a removalist in, depending on the size of the place, to take the furniture out and store it for a day or two and then bring it back in. So it might add another $1,000 or $2,000 on top of it. So it's no small bickies. So then all of a sudden, you have to understand the cost of things. So you say to the client, look, $1,100 looks expensive, but you must consider the extra $4,500 or $5,500 or $6,500 you're going to spend. So it's a saving to them. That's a return on investment. It's called an opportunity cost. And so that works really well. It's the same with all other services that you do, because if you don't maintain a building, in time it costs more to fix. And here's the key thing, is that you help value add to the building. So if the building gets valued, the better condition it's in, the more in sync with the marketplace it is, it's actually worth more. So if these clients of yours have an investment mindset and they get a higher value, they may leverage against that house to buy another one. And so they can get more. Also means that if they want to sell at short notice, they can, and they can get a much better return. So that's called return on investment. So let's say, for instance, you're dealing with a property manager or a landlord. Same scenario, 100 square meters of carpet, it's trashed out. Same costs. Let's say it's $5,500 to replace the carpet. Well, there's a thing in tax law called a depreciating asset, which means that they could spend $5,500 and they don't get it back in the same tax year. It happens over 7 to 8 years. So one of the key things I would recommend for you is simply this, is to go online and look up MCG Quantity Surveyors. So you can Google it, MCG Quantity Surveyors, or Google Mike Mortlock. And if you contact them, and I'll put the details in below, they'll be able to set you up with what's called a depreciation schedule. All it is to give you an overview of how things depreciate. It means that when you're dealing with landlords or property managers, you can move them in the right direction. So let's go back to the carpet. So $5,500 to replace the carpet. Let's say, for instance, this carpet's structurally good, but it's trashed out and it's not a great color. You know, trends change and they want to update the home. Well, what you do is you clean the carpet, $1,100. For those guys who recolor carpet, let's say, for instance, with clean and recolor, it's $4,500. It's 80% of the replacement cost. Who would be nuts to do that? Well, here's the thing, is that because it's a restoration service, is that they can claim that whole amount in the first tax year it's done. In other words, I don't have to wait the 7 or 8 years, it's immediate. So all of a sudden they've got carpet that's as good as new, it costs less, but they're not having to wait as long to get their money back. And that's why understanding return on investment, understanding a little bit of how depreciation works can help you earn more money. Works in lots of other services like flooring. The services, there's a whole myriad of services that it works for. So hopefully that's helpful. As I said, I'll have Mike's details in the link below. So feel free to contact me anytime you want, share ideas or your experiences. Hopefully this is helpful, not too difficult, and I look forward to catching up with you next time.